We don't realize all of the noise that surrounds us. We live in such a noisy world. From the moment we wake up, we're hearing noise. The first noise, your alarm clock. And if that doesn't wake you up, I promise the second noise, it will. It's your kids busting in through your bedroom door, jumping on your bed, and screaming at the top of their lungs, "Mommy, wake! The sun is up, so it's time to wake." Does this sound familiar, moms, or is it just me? Then you roll out of bed, pick up your phone, and you start scrolling through all of your social media noise. All of this noise puts a lot of stress on your body. Trust me, I get it. And that's why today, before I go into my message on the importance of mindfulness for busy moms like you, I want to get you relaxed, because all of that noise that you encountered before your day even started might make you feel tense, anxious, nervous, and that's okay. That's normal. So right now, what I'd like you to do is to relax. Sit in your chair if you're not already, or sit on the floor and allow your bottom to get heavy in your chair. And if it's comfortable for you, I encourage you to close your eyes, or you can look down at the floor at something that's not moving. Good. And I ask you put one hand on your heart and maybe even go under your shirt to feel the warmth of your skin and your heart beating. And then another hand on your belly. And if you want to go under your shirt and feel your belly. And we're going to pay attention to our breath. I want you to take a deep belly breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Dropping your shoulders. You are safe. You are safe. Let's do that again. In through your nose and out through your mouth. One more. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Good. Gently open your eyes. Noticing how you feel now and not attaching any judgment. Maybe you feel good, or maybe you still don't feel the best. And both of those are perfect. So according to Merriam-Webster, mindfulness is the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts or emotions, of experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. But can we be real for a moment? I think we're friends now. I'm going to consider you my friend, okay? Mindfulness can be extremely challenging, especially if you're a busy mom and you're a wife, an entrepreneur, a friend, a sister. The list goes on and on of all of the responsibilities that we have. So if right now you're like, Lesline, I've heard of mindfulness, but it's not for me. What if I told you that mindfulness is exactly for you and it has the potential to transform your life? There are two ways that you can practice mindfulness. The first is meditation, which you just did it. We meditated together. And the second is yoga. So a little story time. I fell in love with the yoga practice back in 2009. I had just graduated high school, and it was the summer before I started my freshman year in college. So I had nothing but time, everyone, meaning I had no job. I still lived at home with my parents. What a time to be alive. Sometimes I wish I could go back, but we're here now in the present. So when my best friend Kelly asked, "Hey, Lesline, do you want to take a yoga class with me?" I said, sure, why not? I have nothing but time. I like to put here in my story that this was in 2009, right before social media really like took off. We were in the MySpace days still, okay? So I say that because I didn't have any images of what yoga was supposed to look like, okay? So I was walking into this class with my friend blind. I went to that class and I walked out of that class after an hour later, transformed. I just felt so good. And as I reflect on that moment, that first yoga class that I took and the feelings that I had after, the feelings I had were just a sense of control, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. At that time, I couldn't articulate all of that, but I knew I felt good and I knew I needed to keep going back to get that same feeling. So I did. I got a membership and I went to that yoga studio every single day of summer 2009. Fast forward to fall 2009, I became a freshman of college. I started working a part-time job. And unfortunately, my yoga practice, it fell on the back burner. Fast forward again to 2016, I got married. Yay! We were thrilled. I got married to my husband, Jamie, and we did what newlyweds do and started having sex, and I got pregnant. We were thrilled, everyone. And when I say we were thrilled, I mean, we told everyone. And we even did a dinner party for both of our parents, invited them to our home. I bought cute little onesies that said, "You're going to be grandparents." We were excited. But as quick as I found out that I was pregnant was as quick as I miscarried. Within 6 weeks of being pregnant, I lost my first baby. To say I was devastated is an understatement. Up until that moment in my life, I had checked all of the boxes, right? Got married, I became a nurse, I did all of the things. But this, I couldn't check. And what's really wild is up until that moment, I didn't want to be a mom. I was never a woman or a little girl that was like, I played with Barbies and I wanted to be a mom. That wasn't me. But now that I had lost my first baby, I was like, I want this. And I wanted it so bad. I remember thinking I wanted it so bad. And I just remember feeling so disappointed in myself, so sad. I had a lot of shame. I didn't tell anybody. Obviously, my husband and my family had to know, but I didn't tell my friends because I was afraid they were going to judge me. I didn't know anybody like in my personal circle that had miscarried. So why am I going to share that? So after, being quiet for some time, I was like, I need to read some books or listen to some podcasts, kind of find some kind of community. And there was one podcast I listened to in particular by the name of The Read. And I remember one day Crystal said, everyone needs therapy. And her saying that, it just struck something. I felt like she was talking right to me. I immediately picked up my phone and I booked a therapist and I started working with her for about three to 6 months. And she helped me identify and understand all of my emotions at that time. And within that time, I fortunately got pregnant again. And this time it was yay, ? Because, me and my husband were afraid that the same thing was going to happen, but it didn't. July 31st, 2018, I had my son, Lennox. Fast forward to this 9 months later, I found out I was pregnant again. But this time it was, yay, I'm tired. And I like to put in here, ladies, that breastfeeding is not a form of contraception. You live and you learn, right? So anyways, December 8th, 2019, we had my daughter, Violet. So we're at the end of 2019 now, and we have 2 kids under the age of 2. We're going to fast forward again to March 2020. We all know what happens. The entire world shuts down, right? And me and my husband are now locked in this house with both of our kids. I was supposed to go back to work, and because I just finished my maternity leave March 2020, but I didn't want to go back to work. As you can relate, I was terrified. I had babies. I didn't know what was going on outside of these four walls of my home. I was staying home. Fortunately, my supervisor said I could work from home. And in that moment, just in that little moment, I was like, oh my God, this is great. I can work from home. I could be super mom. Wrong. We all know how that went, right? It was not super mom. It was very stressful. And I was working from home, and so was my husband. So when he was working upstairs, I was caring for the kids. And when I was working upstairs, he was caring for the kids. There was no downtime in 2020 for us. And because of that, we didn't have any time to decompress, just, relax. And there was one day in particular with my daughter, Violet. She was about 6 months at the time, and she was colicky. She had a lot of gas. And I remember her crying nonstop, no matter what we did, the gas drops, moving the legs. You know how it goes. You move the little legs, hoping to move the gas bubbles, try to rock her. Nothing worked. She just wouldn't stop crying. And I remember in that moment, I snapped. And I started to have thoughts of wanting to harm myself. And I was like, you know what? They would be better off without me. I just want to end my life. This is too much. But the next thought that I had scared the shit out of me. And it was thoughts of wanting to harm my daughter. And I remember in that moment, it was like there was two Leslines, 1, 2, and I kind of jumped out of my body and I looked at her and I said, you can't think like that. And you can't tell anybody you just thought that. So I ran upstairs, told my husband, I said, hey, I need to take a breather. I didn't disclose to him that I had these thoughts because I didn't want him to judge me. I didn't want any of that pressure. So I just said, I need a breather. I went outside, took a walk, and I intuitively came back to my yoga practice through way of deep breathing. So I started breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. I kept doing that, just coming back to it. And I got a little level-headed and came back inside. And as soon as I came back inside, I picked up my phone again and I immediately booked another therapist. Yes, I did have a therapist back in 2017 after my miscarriage, but it was a new time in my life. I was a new mom now. We were in a pandemic. There was a lot of things going on. I needed a fresh set of eyes on me. And I like to put here in the story, I went to therapyforblackgirls.com and I found 5 therapists. One called me back. And she called me back within 20 minutes, actually. And it was like she could hear in my voice that I needed help like yesterday. I saw her within a week and I started working with her and it was amazing. I got to identify and understand my emotions as a new mom now. It was wonderful, but I needed more. I felt this intuitive nudge, a pull, if you will, that I needed more. I deserved more. There was power within me that I needed to unlock. So I got this idea that I needed a life coach. Mind you, I had never heard of a life coach, okay? But I needed something more in tandem with my therapist. So I invested in a life coach and I started working with both of these women, my therapist and my life coach, simultaneously. Working with both of these women transformed my life and catapulted me. I was achieving all of my goals that I didn't even think were possible. What most women would achieve in, say, like 5 years, I was achieving in just 1. Achieving all these goals got me so excited and inspired to serve moms like me. So if today you feel like, Lesline, are you talking to me? It's because I am talking to you. And if you've ever had those thoughts of, I didn't want to be a mom. Why didn't anybody tell me that it was this hard? I want you to know that I feel you and I see you because I was you. And I want you to know that I am here for you. So I'd like to close out this message the same way that I opened it, which is with our meditation. So get comfortable in your chair again. You're a pro now, you're a yogi, and allow your seat to get heavy. And if you close your eyes, if you will, or you can just look down at the floor, settle into your body. Put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. We're going to take 3 deep belly breaths. Here we go. In through our nose. And out through our mouth. In through our nose. Out through our mouth. In through our nose. Out through our mouth. Gently open your eyes, noticing the noise has dissipated now. Thank you for your time. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.
So good. So good. Yeah, all the hearts, all the claps. Lesline, you
Oh,
are amazing.
thank you. Yeah, that
Amazing.
thank you. I receive it. I receive it. Thank you, everyone. The comments are so nice, so supportive. Thank you, everyone.
And how are you feeling, right? I think that's the first question. How are you feeling after sharing something that had you be so naked, right, in front of so
Yeah.
many people, and then to see the responses, like, how do you feel right now?
It is uncomfortable, a little bit, especially listening with you all and then reading the comments and just like, oh gosh, oh, this is that one, like when I said the one part, this part of me is I'm really vulnerable at that one part of the story, especially having those thoughts and saying those thoughts out loud to people, especially being a nurse and a mom and all of the titles. And I don't know any of you all, so it's a little scary, but I'm happy to be here just to show more moms like that we need to speak up, because even seeing in these comments like people like, yeah, I've gone through this is so real, but it's like, why didn't I hear of this when I was going through it? Because
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
yeah, yeah. Well, I can tell you, sis, that you have already in this moment, literally just now, changed the trajectory of generations to come. Generations to come. The world will definitely know your name, sis. And you are the epitome of why it's important for us to tell our stories and our words, right? And the way we want to
Yeah.
do it. So I'm going to bring up a person who actually wants to come to the stage and
Oh.
speak to you right now. This is Ashley Witt. Ashley, you have the mic, sis. Just unmute your mic.
Hi, how are you ladies today? Y'all are traveling with me today. I'm getting my oil changed, so bear with me with my background. Sis, you made me feel seen. My baby girl turns 5 months on the 8th. And when I tell you those first 8 weeks of having her that was rough. It was rough. I had those thoughts like it was my first, easy peasy, easy peasy. This one, no.
Yeah.
I was tired at night. So tired. My husband works 12-hour shifts, so it's mostly me. My parents work still, so it was just me. And then trying to have energy for my 4-year-old, I didn't. And I found myself thinking, why did I do this again?
Mm.
Why did no one tell me like it was this? It's usually all mom. My husband is there, he's very involved, but whenever somebody's like, "Oh, the kids, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom." And I'm like, I have a whole very involved husband. You can call him, you know that, right? Like he exists.
Yes.
He's there. He's a very capable father. Like, and I remember one night I was just like, I really just want you to just be quiet. And then those thoughts started to go dark. And I literally just jumped up out of the bed and I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm a terrible mom. This is awful. I shouldn't be thinking like this. How dare I think like this from this blessing that I was just given.
Yeah.
So you sharing that, it makes me feel not alone. I felt crazy.
Yeah.
Like absolutely insane. I was like, and I can't tell anybody this. They're going to take my kids away from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to have to hold all that in, y'all, to have to hold all that in just to be felt, to be seen, to know that I'm not a crazy person. It means so much, and I'm so glad that you had the courage to come and share with us and be open and be naked on the table for us. It just means a lot. And I thank you and I love you for that.
I love you too. Thank you for sharing that, Ashley. Thank you. I love you right back. Uh, I don't have words. It's so interesting because this story, like putting this into a story form, I had help to put it, like articulate it better. And I remember I wanted to start speaking, like I wanted to start doing these type of things, and I didn't know that it was going to have this, like it was going to be like this. It's exceeded my expectations, but I wanted to say is I remember one day I was walking, like I shared in the story, walking outside is like my happy place. I connect with God. I connect, just with myself. And one of those walks, God was like, you remember that time when you had those thoughts with Violet? You need to share that. And this was while I was like creating all my story and all that stuff. And I was like, that? I don't see anybody really talking about that. And like, I'm not really that solidified as like a brand. Why am I gonna be like, I was just like, and he's like, no, that's your thing. You keep telling me that you haven't gone through enough. Because I've said that a lot. And I've mentioned this a lot, like I don't think I've gone through enough or had enough trauma because of X, Y, and Z. Like I have a supportive husband like you. I have, a supportive community, even though I didn't share with I didn't share with some of the people because they know me. And it wasn't even until after I got my story together, my thoughts together, I then told my husband. So it was like a year later. I was like, hey, and we were like in the bed one morning. I was like, I had these thoughts. And he was like, oh, like, he was like, oh, it's understandable. Typical man. It wasn't as like fulfilling as woman to woman, but I couldn't share that with people that knew me. I needed to, like I mentioned, go through the coaching, going through the therapy, having people, like I needed like professional eyes on me, like I said, before I shared, because going back to the title of this, No Longer My Burden, I didn't want to be a burden to anybody that knew me. So I chose to pay people that didn't know me to help me. And to know that it's now helping people I don't even know, like you, Ashley, don't have words right now, but thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I get it, the burden. Like you don't want people to be afraid, like the people around you to be afraid, like, oh, is she gonna, you don't want them to see you different. Like, yes, I have this moment, but this isn't me, but this is hard. I'm struggling. But I don't want you to be like, oh, she's you gotta watch her around her own kid. No, that's not it. It's just help.
Yeah, and that's the part. That's so interesting you say that, because even when I was promoting the summit, and the title is I didn't want to be a mom, and I have friends and I have family that are seeing this, and I'm like, I have to get out of my own way. There are people that I'm here to serve. Like that's how I had to keep blinders on this past week of promoting. I'm like, it's not about me. Yes, I am sharing my story with you all, but it's not for me, it's for you, Ashley. It's for other Black women, Black moms on this call that feel incredibly alone. So I had to like get past myself. And I really like to share that, because I feel like when I hear speakers talk, like it's like, yeah, 10 years ago, like I'm still actively going through things, but I now have the tools. I now have the tools. So I just like to mention that, like, we're never gonna, like, you'll get to the top of a mountain and then you go right back, you know, you go into that summit and you come up, you go like, or the valley, whatever you want to call it. Like, that's just life. Like, no matter what speaker you hear talking, like, we're always constantly going through something. And like, so that was one of my somethings, was like, oh my God, the title of this says I didn't want to be a mom. And my mother-in-law, like, you know, my sister-in-law gonna see it. Like, it's just, but I had to do it so people, like, you could feel liberated. Like, that, this is what it's about. And like what Casey said, like, just healing generations and giving everyone a voice, specifically us as Black moms, a voice. Because I know with my mom, she didn't really speak a lot. It was like walk away, or maybe I'd see her cry once or twice, but she didn't speak. And like, there's power. There really is power in our words. And it's really important, no matter who you are. So like, even Ashley today sharing, like, I don't know you, but like, even you sharing what you said to all of us watching this, like, you're gonna see a change in you. Like, it's like, I can't even explain it, but the more you just share your story and get out of your own way.
Ashay. Thank you, Ashley. We appreciate you, Mama. Thank you so much, Lesline. Just incredible. We only have 60 seconds left, so let me just throw a question on the stage. Whoa, Lord. Okay, so this one is from Chrissy King. What up, Chrissy? I just DM'd you back too, Mama. And she asks, what is your go-to self-care tip when parenting feels overwhelming?
The go-to, there's so many. I would say, for me, it's going into like the bathroom or the garage, a place where like my senses can like be calmed down, can calm down, where I can calm down. So like, I typically like to go in my bathroom because like the floor is hard and it's cold. So that helps me ground, even though it's cold. That's strange. But for me, it helps me ground by sitting on the floor in my bathroom, and then I turn off the lights and I just breathe, and just come back to myself. And I say, I am doing a good job. I am a good mom. Because whatever you put after I am, you become. And I also like to tell myself, like, I am safe, because that's something, you know, we don't think, you don't realize that's what you're like. You feel unsafe. When I know, when I do, when I feel overwhelmed, it's because like I don't feel safe. So yeah, bathroom, my garage, and breathe.
So good. Well, Lesline, I hope you are soaking up all of these flowers. You've done a lot, more than words can say right now, honestly. But I hope that you, even in your spare time, you have time to come back through this chat, right?
Yeah.
And this replay will hold the chat and literally soak up everything that everyone is saying. I honor you. Thank you so much for your partnership, sis. And I look forward to so many more mountains that we'll climb together.
Yes.
Love and
Yes,
light. Woo! All right, y'all. So we are almost at the bottom of the day. Okay. And I know you're feeling a whole lot of emotions. And that is the reason why we're ending the day with a journal wind down. Nefertiri McGriff is going to lead us in a journal wind down called Transgenerational Trauma. So we have somewhere to put these things, okay? A whole hour of this, okay? But before that, we have a panel discussion, okay? We're ending the day. This is it, okay? Next, we have a panel discussion called Black Maternal Mortality Rates. Black maternal mortality rates, because we need to cement the learnings, right? The challenges, the experiences that we thought were only ours. And so we're going to have two midwives in a panel discussion alongside myself. One is the only licensed midwife in Columbia, South Carolina, and the other, you've heard from, Candace is coming back, is under her stewardship right now, learning, and is very close to her licensure. Okay, so Black maternal mortality rates is a panel discussion we're about to go into right now. And then right after that, we're going to have a live session with Nefertiri McGriff, who is going to lead a wind down journaling session because we need it to help us unpack this in very, very healthy ways. Okay. And then it's over. Okay. You get to go inside of the booths. You get to go in the lounge. Definitely go inside the booth. So they have a lot of fun things planned for you. So I will see you on the other side of the panel discussion, and then meet us for the end of the speaking sessions with a journal wind down. Transgenerational trauma. Love y'all. See y'all in a second.